I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Anyone? Only us old people will get that reference. I'm so scared. All right, Bitcoin has touched. It's actually happened. It has touched the 50-week moving average. But let me go live on TikTok. I mean, look at all these other times that Bitcoin. Let's say that Bitcoin is actually going to bottom at the 50-week moving average. Look at every other time that it's touched it. We have 4 touches in the last 2 years, and every time it has gone to, if you want to call this the 50-week moving average band between the EMAs and the SMAs, it has touched both of them. It's gone to the lower one, and it's actually wicked below the lower one. So I tend to think that that's what's going to happen this time around. I'm sorry to say, you know, on a daily candle at least. So that would put us at 101. It could wick below that, even go below $100,000. But I am hoping and expecting for a weekly close above both the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. So afternoon Crow Man, I'm so excited about this live stream. Man, pure excitement. And you guys, anyone going to be asking about your favorite 10x? Give me a safe 10x. Give me a safe 100x. ICP's ripping. Is it actually ripping, or are you? Oh my! What? What is this? Why do random altcoins just pump like this? ICP is up 42% right now today. And then, so I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to short this. No doubt in my mind. ICP has no business. So here's something very important. You've seen Zcash pump really hard. You've seen Dash. You've seen some other ones, and there's a common denominator, and that is that their older cryptocurrencies and their tokenomics are not nearly as terrible because they've already played. That's already played itself out. So ICP does not have good tokenomics. So wow, yeah, I'm going to look for an opportunity to short this really hard, but I don't know when. Not yet. Maybe we'll see. Good morning, Raymond. Can you look at Dash? Is this simply market manipulation? I think we give too much credit to market manipulation. The answer is always yes, but that doesn't, nah. Oh yeah, Dash. How high can Dash go? I have no idea. I don't really pay much attention to Dash. You know, it's not something that, man, it's with these older ones, it's these OGs that just are straight up dead. They look dead and then they pump out of nowhere. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you as to how high it could go. You know, I mean, I wasn't messing with Zcash and then it just kept on pumping. Maybe Dash has some potential to go even higher than where it is right now. So 144. You know, there's someone named Zhao Wedson. I still don't know how to pronounce that. Joao Wedson. Wedson. Look him up on X. Zhao Wedson. He talked about Dash in a recent tweet, and I think he gave a target of like $200. So, how long you been live? 4 minutes. GM, more blood today. Hey, we bounced off the 50-week moving average. I told you guys, man, traders were going to wait until we got to the 50-week and then we bounced off of it. That doesn't mean that that's the bottom, but that's something. So, yeah, why is ICP ripping? Have no idea. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I'm going to look for an opportunity to short that thing when that opportunity comes. Not right now. What do you think about Rismus? I'm still a believer in Rismus. I know. So, you know, Rismus has gone down with the rest of the market. And I have a big bag of Rismus. Now, listen, I sold a couple $100 yesterday, but here's the deal. Remember, if you remember last year, Rismus was flat all of November, and then like 5 days before Thanksgiving, it started rising. So it's really hard to hold it given how everything else is going, but I'm going to keep holding my bag. Let's see. Can we officially start to talk about best cryptos to buy in the bear market? We can talk about that whenever we want, but again, I've talked about my lines in the sand, and we have not breached the lower line in the sand. We breached the lower line in the sand. Let's talk about cryptos to buy in the bear market. I'm not talking about that now. So, but I mean, aside from the fact, yeah, we can talk about that whenever we want. I'm wondering what's going on with YouTube. Hopefully everything's okay on YouTube. I know it's a member-only chat, but numbers seem pretty low right now, even though, you know, aside from the fact that things are terrible in the market. I'm wondering when to take profits on Dash. I bought at $43 when Zhao Wedson said to buy. I don't know, man. You know, you bought at $43. You should take profits. You know, what do you want me to say? You should take profits for sure. It just seems like the rate cut should have been priced in. It's always the market. The market's just going to do what it does. You never have all of the information. Crypto market analysis, ask about Dash and ICP. Is that an actual AI in the chat? Thoughts on VeChain? I love VeChain. I have a lot of hope for it at the proper time. Could it do... I mean, VeChain would be a good candidate to do what Zcash and what Dash have been doing lately, you know? I just don't know when. You know, it does seem really... Like, if you want to try to catch one of these early... Listen, I'm not a huge fan of buying altcoins right now, but there is a category of altcoin that it makes sense in my brain. Why not take a stab at this? And it's an older cryptocurrency that was in existence before 2020 that has no or very low inflation in its tokenomics, that maybe those will pull a Zcash or a Dash. Are we in a bear market? Altcoins have been in a bear market for quite a while. But no, bear market started. No, guys, you're going to come in and ask these questions. I'm going to remind you, okay, like literally all of my most recent videos have talked about two lines in the sand with Bitcoin. And we are in between those two lines in the sand. And so no, I'm not declaring that we're in a bear market. I'm just not doing that right now. You said you will sell Rismus starting 11/11. Are you going to hold till December? I'm probably not, you know, maybe the first week of December. Thank you, Gab's dad. Maybe the first week of December, but no, I'm not. I'm probably, I want to see Rismus go higher. You know, I'll probably like take little bits and pieces out on the 11th, but I do think it's going to do something similar to what it did last year, where it's going to start climbing the week of Thanksgiving. Do you think Gov shutdown is affecting market? Not really. I don't. You know, I think we can survive for a while with the government being shut down. Thoughts on Hyperliquid? Man, that's actually really tough. Nah, I would say that Hyperliquid has put in a lower high. So it's in a downtrend, and it's going to remain in a downtrend. So everyone had to know it was over when everyone was talking about precious metals. Not everyone. Hello, Lavi. Privacy coins pumping as a topping signal for Bitcoin. Where'd you get that? I'm assuming you've heard that from someone else. What happened with ICP? I don't know. I'm going to short it when the time comes. ICP is fully vested. Is it? I've looked into their tokenomics, but I haven't looked in for the last couple of years. Like in the bear market, I looked heavily in their tokenomics. That doesn't sound right to me, but you know, Maybe you're right. If you're getting that from coinmarketcap.com, I would question that. This sentiment's very telling. I mean, people can say that all the way down. Whatever. Zhao Wedson, can someone spell it for me? Joao, like a Portuguese or Brazilian name, not Chinese. Yeah, ICP on the rip. Yep. People are down on their altcoins. Their only play is to short coins that pump like Dash, Zcash short squeeze. Yeah, maybe that's factoring into it. That's a good point. All right, today's the ICP day. Today's ICP day. Guys, I don't know what happened with ICP, but I'm going to short it at some point. Is buying the dip on Rismus then more in favor for upside now? Just someone... I think it will go up. I'm not going to be screaming here, buy the dip. We're nearing the end game with Rismus. So I'm not gonna hold your hand with Rismus. I'm sorry. I'm not buying anymore. I'm just, whatever my bag is, that's what it is. I'm excited about Cardano Privacy Coin. You're mining Cardano Privacy Coin? That's cool. Any thoughts on Jasmy? Man, Jasmy's right at there was a level that Jasmy broke through really hard in 2024. It ripped through it. And then we had a back test of that level after about a year. And that was a perfect entry. And now we're right back at that level. So maybe this is the time to buy Jasmy. Maybe. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm live on TikTok, WWBTC5. I'm able to answer questions there. What app/platform do you do your shorting on? BitUnix. I really like BitUnix. Will Bitcoin dip below 100? If it does, I think it's going to be a wick. I don't think it'll be a daily close below 100K. But again, I am still, listen, if we have a weekly close below the 50-week moving average, then the answer to that question is yes, absolutely. Bitcoin will go under 100K. But I am maintaining my mindset that we are at support with the 50-week simple moving average and the 50-week EMA. We just touched today the 50-week simple moving average. I think we will go down to the 50-week EMA, which is at 101. Could we wick below that to get under 100? I could see that. Yeah. Coach Ty is probably jumping up and down since ICP is up $2. Sure, yeah. What would you buy now for 3x? I would short ICP at some point soon. I'm not, altcoins? I'm not recommending any altcoins. What we need to see is Bitcoin hold support here. And then probably what would happen after that is Bitcoin's going to continue to outperform altcoins. Let's say that Bitcoin is going to hit a new all-time high within the next 3 months or something. Here's what's going to happen. That rally for Bitcoin to a new all-time high is going to be a major disbelief rally. And a lot of and Bitcoin will outperform a lot of altcoins. So what do you want me to recommend, Rismus? Rismus is CTO. Yes, it is. Any thoughts on Arrow? Is it too risky to short Dash? If you can find it, I think it's too risky. Yeah, I think that's contributing to, because that's something I love to do. I see a random cryptocurrency pump super hard. I try to short it, and I tend to do very well with that. Arrow, what do I think about Arrow? It is at a level right now that I find interesting for a trade. It's putting in a higher low. It might be at the start of an uptrend, but no guarantees with that. So, Gwim, thanks for the follow. C42, thanks for the follow. Ondo. Oh, man, if we're going to be asking, Ondo looks terrible, and I do really like Ondo fundamentally. I wouldn't touch Ondo right now. Now, I mean, it has gone pretty close to sweeping the lows of that big liquidation wick. So maybe there's some hope with Ondo that this would be a bottom, but I'd rather wait for a reversal. Is Aurora dead? It says dead as any other crypto. So yes or no? I mean, Aurora had a big pump last week. I would have shorted if I was able to. Hey Alex, just joined. What are you buying for short term at these prices? Nothing. I think we have one more leg lower for Bitcoin, which means that altcoins can go a decent amount lower. So seller hold right now. I'd hold. Bitcoin dominance looks strong. Yes, it does. Wilder World Coin. There's something I haven't looked at in a long time. What's up with Wilder World? Oh, I wonder if they made some kind of an announcement that they've given up or something, just like Cadena a few weeks ago. Are we bearish? We are still in between two lines in the sand. We are neutral. Man, ICP, gosh. All right, your break-even point. Don't say you're going to go short yet. Resistance on ICP. There's lots of resistance. I could tell you lots of resistance. That doesn't mean that ICP is going to get stopped there. Well, on the daily, it broke through lots of moving averages. Maybe it can get up to like 686. Maybe. I don't know. So, Jake, thanks for the follow. I entered longs in Tau at 407 and Zcash at 390. Tau's been doing pretty well. 423. I could see Tau getting back up to like 460. I think I'd exit at that point. And then Zcash. Thank you for that gift. Oh man, Zcash. What in the world? It just won't stop. What is up with everything's terrible except for like Zcash and Dash. And then these random cryptos will pump super hard. I have no idea what to tell you about Zcash. You got in at 390 or 427. I mean, you're in profit. I guess take some profits. Good morning, coach. Is Ethereum getting back to yesterday's low a good sign? What do you mean by that? Ethereum. Not necessarily a good sign. Now, this could be a spring on a Wyckoff reaccumulation for Ethereum. I would love to see Ethereum close the week above $3,800. We'll see. Now, Ethereum it looks like came really close to sweeping the lows of that big liquidation wick. So maybe there's some hope for a bottom with Ethereum. Seems that crypto cannot withstand the correction that is inevitably coming in stocks. What do you mean by inevitably? Talking about like soon? Because I do see some signs of concern, sure, but I'm looking at these charts. Inevitably could be tomorrow or it could be a year from now. If alts can go a lot lower, do you think we'll get into the 90s for Bitcoin? Alts won't drive that. I don't know what you mean by that. It's Bitcoin's show right now. Thoughts on Say? I'm sure it looks terrible. Yeah, it looks terrible. Looks like a good coin to short. If ever you see a green candle on a daily chart, go ahead and short Say. ICP white paper shows 539 million. It's fully vested. Okay. All right. Hello, Angel. BB followed the live creator. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Hosa. ICP is up because of Whales and Google and ICP collab. Cool, man. I'm going to short it. Yeah, leverage getting liquidated long and short. What's up with ICP today? That's the question of the day. I don't know. I really don't know. Aside from, hey, ICP is up because of Whales and Google and ICP collab. So, all right. Matthew McConaughey. What time do daily and weekly closes happen? Time zone. Bubba Disco. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm a little concerned that you did not see me. I'm live on YouTube, but like the numbers are really low, and I haven't gotten any member chats yet. So I just opened it up to subscribers. All right. So daily closes are, what is it? Is it GMT or UTC? It's midnight UTC. So in the United States East Coast, that's, well, we just had daylight savings time, which I can't stand. So it's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, United States. Hello, Suki. Mark, thanks for the follow. ICP comes up with a new product, Caffeine AI. All right. All right. Now the chat's open. That was weird. Jay Bizzle, hello. There seems to be momentum with ZK Sync. Really? Yeah. All right. Nice green candle last week. Where do you short ICP? BitUnix. I heard it did something partnered with someone newsworthy. Yes. Man, I'm getting notification. Well, Sui's up. Sui went right down to his own. I talked about this level, $1.99, and I'm assuming it barely didn't fill it. Yeah. Where did it go? So I had a level of interest. I didn't open a long or anything. I should have on Sui. $1.96.96. And what did it do? What it always does, it went to $1.97.46 because of course it did. So are your bags packed? No, I got stopped out on a lot of my positions. So I mean, I still have a decent amount of crypto, but like, good time to buy Chainlink. I don't think it's a good time to buy altcoins in general. I think we need to wait for Bitcoin to show some strength. So I think I would be interested in Chainlink at between like 1318 and 1377. Jam said if you had to guess, alts will bottom March 2026, April. So it's a good time to DCA Q1, Q2, and alts. Maybe. Yeah. So I've been in this train of thought that here's what 2026 I think is going to look like. I think it's going to look like a typical bear market for the first couple months of 2026. Whether or not, like, let's just say there's a full reversal, which I don't think is going to happen. Full reversal, huge pump in the crypto market. Or let's say that crypto machinery is right and we are definitely in a bear market, even though I called for Bitcoin to go to 103. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if the market makers, whatever, that we had a typical bear market for the first couple of months of 2026. And then everyone's out like, all right, you know what? I'm going to buy in October, in November of 2026 at the bear market bottom. But then we saw a full reversal. I think Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin's all-time high is for 2025, which if it's 126, fine. I think Bitcoin's going to go a decent amount higher than that in 2026 and much higher than that in 2027. So anyway. OXO, you're welcome. Thoughts on Zen? Zen. Interesting. Chart looks bullish, one of the few, I don't know anything about this. I mean, I'm looking at the chart, looks bullish. It's so weird. I mean, it's been pumping really hard. I don't get it. When do you think we'll get euphoria if we ever do? Q2 next year? No, I think the stars need to align. You know, quantitative easing, liquidity, business cycle in a different position than where it is right now for euphoria. So what happened to Uptober? I think you know what happened to Uptober crypto machinery. Sounds like complete denial. Crypto machinery. All right, if you're gonna keep going in this direction, I'm going to block you. I know that you have your moments where you're just like a big pain in the ass. Here's what I've been saying since that liquidation, that big liquidation. I have been saying, watch my videos, 2 lines in the sand. Okay? One of them is the 50-week moving average, which is what we've touched during moments of peak fear. Peak fear. April of 2025, excuse me. We went down to the 50-week moving average for Bitcoin. August of 2024, we went down to the 50-week moving average for Bitcoin. Today, we hit the 50-week moving average for Bitcoin. Now, I am expecting us to wick below that, maybe even get under $100,000. So I'm just trying to be disciplined here. I'm not in denial, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to be disciplined here. If there is a time that I am not going to wave the white flag, it is at support. Okay, there is a time that I will wave the white flag. It's a very simple thing of like, we get below the 50-week moving average on a weekly close, then yes, we are at the beginning of a bear market that's not going to be as long, in my opinion, as previous bear markets. Is that okay? Crypto machinery. I bow down. I yield the floor. I bow down to the smartest man in the room. Is it okay to have those 2 lines in the sand and to stick with that and then to adjust? All right. Any thoughts on that October wick low triggering the bear cycle, but will be shorter bear this time? Yeah, I pretty much just said that. How much do you think Bitcoin we go to? When? You know, I tripled my money on Zen. Awesome. What's your price target range for you to accumulate more Bitcoin? I haven't really thought about it. You know, I'll think about that if and when we get a weekly close below the 50-week moving average. Any chance it turns bullish by the end of the year? There's a chance. Any thoughts on a retrace to December highs in 2026 or better for alts? For alts, you know, I would think maybe the end of 2026 that we could see the total altcoin market cap, you know, pump a decent amount beyond its current levels. Not cool if you block me. I have a right to my opinion if it doesn't come out of thin air. I can do whatever I want. Hello from Lutton. No, I mean, crypto machinery, it's on you, man. You're going to come in here. I'm trying to be principled. I'm just trying to be principled, okay? I think that you are doing the dumb thing, which is that you're in here calling it over at support. All right, and I'm doing the smart thing, which is we're at support, we lose support, then I'll call it over. We are $2,000 on a weekly close for Bitcoin away from complete agreement. And you're coming in here claiming that what I'm talking about is denial. That's on you, man. That's not a me thing. That's really, really annoying. So what do you think of $10 AMC? AMC the stock? Oh, wait. Why would AMC go to $10? We broke support. No, we didn't. The 50-week moving average is it's a weekly candle, so I'm looking for a weekly close. Justice, thank you for the follow. And it's above the 50-week moving average right now. This is what I keep telling people until you see charts on the weekly. This is bullish. I mean, listen, it's hard to be bullish at support. It's really difficult. You know? And anyway, all it takes is a few weeks for 100% gains. I mean, we're seeing that with some of these altcoins, man. I mean, like ICP, Dash, Zcash, But man, I mean, here's the difference between like, let's say we saw some kind of full blown alt season end the year, which I really don't think is going to happen. But let's just say we saw that. That would be a huge difference than previous years, previous cycles. Like alt season in 2021, there was a buildup to it and things got more and more exciting. And then boom, it was just absolute pandemonium. Same for 2018. We are in the depths of despair right now. Hello, Amir. There are people still going 10x longer, thinking it can't go lower. Yeah, I mentioned that. I commented on that in my YouTube video. That's insane. The fact that there were liquidations yesterday. Why are you longing right now? Bitcoin. You got to wait for Bitcoin. So, Alex, you give us great free info for your time. Block these people. Waste your time. I mean, crypto machinery's been around for a really long time, so that's why I wouldn't block him, even though I did suggest that. So would you say recommend family and friends to buy right now? What would be your advice? I would not say to buy. Again, I mean, you're making me rehash exactly the things that I've been saying for several weeks now. And I think it's because you're trying to you're proud and you want to prove a point or something. All right, crypto machinery. Here's my mindset. Wait until you see Bitcoin break a downtrend. I can't show you my chart. TikTok doesn't like that. Wait until you see either a bullish divergence on the daily chart or if you see Bitcoin break its downtrend. And then you wait for Bitcoin to break resistance, some resistance above that. Start a new uptrend, break resistance above that because that is going to be a mega disbelief rally. And then there's a point after that where you buy altcoins. So no, I'm not recommending to my family members that you buy crypto. I would be okay buying Bitcoin right now. Crypto market analysis, ask about Bitcoin 50. Oh, man, this AI, who are you? What is this AI crap? I don't want this. I'm starting to think if we didn't have the pandemic, that free money, it wouldn't happen in 2021 either. I mean, that's pretty, yes, I agree with you. That is the fodder that has driven alt season. Aside, 2021, there were so few cryptos and it's like massive profits on Bitcoin. So, all right, it rolled over into altcoins. And what I'm saying is like, yeah, there's going to be QE again. There's going to be stimulus again. There's going to be times when there are injections of capital and altcoins will do very well. We're far away from that right now. I was hopeful for a altcoin move in the fourth quarter. That would have been a massive fake out because everyone would have been calling for alt season. But we didn't get that. Not yet, at least. Is there chance bear market alt bottom earlier than Bitcoin because they're down so much compared to Bitcoin? That actually happened in 2022. So maybe, ETH bottomed out in like June or July of 2022. And then Bitcoin bottomed out in November. So maybe. Thoughts on the privacy coins like Zcash and Dash? We've talked a lot about those already. It's like, can they go higher? I mean, they're pumping super hard right now. I don't know what to say, man. Maybe they're just going to keep on ripping, but at some point, somebody's going to be a huge bag holder. Hey, Zeus, thanks for the follow. I was up 200% gains, was looking for 5 to 8x. In your whole portfolio? Yeah, in crypto, we think 200% isn't good. That's the problem. Will it take a pandemic-like situation to inject liquidity in the market? No. No. I think it might take something scary, but not pandemic levels or not great financial crisis levels. Lip, I'm not going to read the rest of your name. Thanks for the follow. Do Do you like DCAing into Pengu or just stay out? RSI is getting low. I'd wait. I do like Pengu. I would just wait. I mean, don't try to catch a falling knife. Did you already cover ICP pumping? Yes, I did. Yeah. I don't have answers for you. I'm going to look for an opportunity to short it. So, Bison, thanks for the follow. Was thinking the same, but also interested in their long-term staying power. Altcoins, depends on the altcoin. Most of them have no long-term staying power. Trump has given markets uncertainty for a year, 1 year as of this week. Hey, we are at today's election day in the United States, so tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of Trump winning. Yeah, ICP's on fire, Bubba Disco. I'm going to short it at some point. I don't believe that. Bradness, thanks for the follow. The fact that ETH has just gone above its previous all-time high, this bull is unreal. I would have thought it was going to go higher, and I think it will. I think if we're not married to this 4-year cycle nonsense, you know, for altcoins, for Bitcoin it makes sense. For altcoins though, if we're willing to broaden our horizons, then it's not insane to me. Yeah, I was never, for this cycle, I was never married to this idea that it had to happen the end of 2025. It would have been convenient, but that was never my mindset. Any thoughts on Syscoin? Beto Garcia, thanks for the follow. What is, I've looked up Syscoin before. I don't know anything about it. No signs of life in the chart. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe it'll be some random coin that pumps out of nowhere like Dash and Zcash. All right. We did dip down past 103, hopefully not close. I did already mention, I mean, I'm waiting. I have a limit order set at the 50-week EMA. That's at 1013. So I'm not worried about a dip below the 50-week moving average on a daily close. I would be more worried about that on a weekly candle. Where do you see the S&P topping between now and spring? I don't know about spring. I do give a target of 8,100 for the S&P 500, but I don't have a timeline for that aside from just 2026. Would you recommend selling alt or worth holding to see the outcome of this week's candle? At this point, if you haven't sold, I'd wait for the outcome of this week's candle. But like I said, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I did share this on X a few weeks ago. After that big liquidation, I set a limit order that, all right, if it gets to this level, I'm out. And it hit for my biggest bags for the altcoins. Would it make sense to you? Oh, wait, thoughts on noise? What is that? If I'm looking at the right chart, it looks dead. Would it make sense to you that stocks continue to perform while Bitcoin doesn't? No. Hey, what's up, DT? That doesn't make sense to me. And I am very bullish for 2026 with stocks. If anything, Bitcoin, you know, I think Bitcoin, it would make sense for it to, in my head, for Bitcoin to perform like a tech stock basically at this point. in 2026. So are we in a bear market? Not yet. Can you look up TIA? Oh, Celestia. That's total garbage. Terrible tokenomics. I wouldn't touch that. Anytime it gets up to the 20-day EMA, I would short that. Is Bitcoin bear? Not yet. What's going on with WoW coin? Random coins, man. What is WoW? WoW USD? I don't know. I must not be looking at the right charts. I have no idea. When would be the best guess for overall market drop? I like pump till spring, drop then pop into midterms. Hey, maybe it'll be sell in May and go away. Maybe that'll be it, you know. So, yeah, weekly candle. You think Sol good DCA level? Oh, H bar and then Solana. H bar, Solana. H bar. I don't know, man. I'm seeing support at like 16.2 cents. Maybe that'd be a good entry. I'm just very hesitant about buying altcoins right now. Solana, I mean, on one hand, Solana is a falling knife, so can it hold support? It is trying to hold support at the 618 retrace from its 2021 peak. That's 162. I mean, you want to do a scalp on Solana, maybe it makes sense to do that right now. I would not be like loading up for the big blow off top or something. Jude, I hope you saw that I answered your question. H, thanks for the follow. Why has Jasmine died out? Everything's dying, you know, quote unquote, dying out, you know? Bitcoin miners don't care about the crash. The reason why is because of a lot of them are transforming to AI data centers. So you sold all your alts. I did not sell all of them. My 4 biggest bags got stopped out. Yes. Do you think it will be positive or negative for crypto stocks if the Supreme Court decides that Trump's tariffs are illegal? I guess it would be positive. You know, I mean, that's caused a lot of headaches. So for our short-term bags, at least. Caspa, what about Caspa? Caspa looks really bad. You know, man, this liquidation took it under a penny. That's crazy. Yeah, another one is I wouldn't touch right now. Tariffs are, oh yeah, let's see. Zebek is going to be ISO approved by the end of 2025. Cool. Zebek. Not looking great. Like a lot of them. Ondo, a goodbye, no. What about XRP? XRP seems to be following a similar, it seems to be playing itself out in a very similar way to how it played itself out in after it peaked in 2021. Now, it is back within a zone where there is a lot of price history, so maybe this would be a good place for XRP to bottom out. Do you think we will have any new highs before 2026 or in the first quarter? I don't think before 2026. I can't get on board with that. Maybe the first quarter for Bitcoin. We'll see about after that. All right, Thomas, it's been a while. What do you think about the daily mined Bitcoin exceeding Bitcoin ETF buying for the first time in 7 months? Oh, I didn't know that. So it wasn't going to be forever. I'm not worried about it. C3AI, do I think it's cooked? I've never heard of it, so probably. Oh, that's a stock. I don't know anything about this. I mean, chart doesn't scream buy or anything. VET's still a good coin. VET's a good coin, but nah. Ondo, goodbye at this price? No. So VET right now, I'm not in love with buying VET right now, but with the mindset I'm just not in love with buying a whole lot of altcoins right now. So let's see, where did all the influencers from last bull market go? I think a lot of them are still around. I don't know. I don't pay attention. I mean, I'd be pretty embarrassed if I called for 2025 to be this year that was just going to be like the most insane year ever, the gold bull run to end all bull runs. I'd be in hiding too. So it's not like I've been perfect, but at least I wasn't on that train. Stack up 2028 going to be lit. Nah, we'll see excitement before then. What about syrup, crypto poppy? I mean, it just looks like it's ranging, but also bleeding a little bit. So I don't know what to say about syrup. I'm assuming HEEHEE will probably run when Solana runs again. When meme coins run again, not when Solana runs again. I mean, Solana did very well a few months ago, but meme coins were hemorrhaging. So when it's time for meme coins to run, HEEHEE will run again. And it'll run hard. And I'll be excited about hyping it up and everything. But now, I could do all sorts of crazy things and HEEHEE, maybe get a couple buys, a couple $100 buys with HEEHEE. When things get really hot again, whenever that is, it's like, hey, buy HEEHEE. Yes, okay, I'll buy $10,000 worth. SHX. Oh, hey, Will Kronos. SHX looks like that euphoria chart, the market cycle chart. Zero interest in touching stronghold right now, but maybe eventually, maybe one day. Ooh, all right. Hey, Kronos. Now, I'm not saying that this is absolutely going to be a local bottom, but look, it bounced off of a level that I had laid out here. So maybe that will be a bottom. I don't think so, though. Virtual Bacon now said be bullish for 3 to 6 months for crypto when he admit we are in bear market by alts. I'm not sure what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think many alts will survive through 2026? It depends. So I think any altcoin that made people's dreams come true in previous bull runs there's still hope no matter where that altcoin is right now. So just think about an altcoin that people did like a 20, 30, 50, 100x on. I would say those may reach levels of like extreme bargains, and there will always be hope for those coins. But the ones that launched in 2024, and I'm thinking like a Celestia or something, that I could see that never coming back. Because a lot of those 2024 utility coins or 2023 utility, a lot of those were just straight up cash grabs, and they were total scams. So top 3 positions currently being staked. I don't do staking all that much. I have like $200 of Cardano staked on Coinbase. That literally might be it. Let's go ICP. Yeah, let's go. I can't wait to short it. Not going to short it right now. So glad I sold my initial investment of Bitcoin at 123. I'll profit no matter where it goes now. You did it right. Good job. The old Phantom chart is still on TradingView. Sonic might get to some really good cheap prices. Listen, all right, here's All right, Cardingham, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to stop answering your questions. And that's no offense. I can't keep up with everybody. And I've answered a lot of your questions. But, all right, the most bearish person I know, forgive me, don't shoot the messenger. He is calling for Bitcoin to go to $3,000 in the bear market. And that sounds like a bad idea, but or not that sounds not like a bad idea. Sorry, I got to mute Mr. Cuz. Bye, Mr. Cuz. That sounds terrible, right? I mean, obviously that sounds terrible. But what he talks about after that is like after that you would see 100x's on some altcoins. So did we just have a double bottom? No guarantees. I think Bitcoin's going to go a little bit lower, actually. Sometime this week. But I hope not. No way Bitcoin goes to 3K with institutional adoption and Bitcoin strategy, treasury strategies. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying I agree with him. I am not saying I agree with him. I need to respond to a text real quick. But I do agree that there are going to be unbelievable opportunities with altcoins at some point, even the worst case scenario you can imagine. Unbelievable opportunities with altcoins. Hello, Anthony. If Bitcoin performs like a tech stock, then it sounds like a pretty good buy at 103. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know, and if I think it's going to go to 101, are you going to like, so what? You don't try to time the bottom perfectly. What you do is you try to buy around the bottom. And it makes sense to me that this would be a bottom. I'm not saying the bottom. I'm not saying that, you know, this is, all right, now we're going to go into new all-time highs. What I'm saying is that this range, the lower 100K level, would be a bottom. Good morning, 501. Thanks for the follow. Jude, I've answered your question multiple times. Sorry, I can't keep up with TikTok. I can't keep up anymore. Do you think Bitcoin has topped, or are you still expecting another all-time high before alt season? I'm not even alt season is not on my brain, crypto machinery. Let me back up. The word alt season might have come out of my mouth, but I've always clarified alt moment, that the stars are not aligned for a full-blown alt season. So forget about the before another alt season. But yes, yeah, Bitcoin, preceding alt season, whenever that comes, is a Bitcoin all-time high. Thoughts on all the repo numbers going up? Yeah, reverse repos. I don't know. You know, I mean, what I'm curious is to see the Fed responds to that or whatever. All right. Sorry, I can't keep up. What's ICP doing? That's the question of the day, right? Is HEEHEE a real coin? I looked for it. You spelled it wrong. HEEHEE. We are far from the bottom, bro. I mute you on YouTube and you come back. I might agree with you soon, Mr. Cuz. Just not. You're not coming in at support and waving, you know, marching around doing victory laps. You're not doing that today. We are at support. By the time those opportunities arrive, people will think crypto is dead and not many will buy. Exactly. I don't know if that was a point that is 100%. 100%. That is, I mean, if you look at altcoin charts in the bear market of 2018, 2019, you would think, with hindsight, you'd think, oh man, I'm going to scoop these coins up and oh, they're going to shoot off like crazy. I'm going to make 100x. You look at Cardano. Cardano went from 2 cents to $3. Do you think many people bought Cardano at 2 cents, or do you think they thought it was dead? Let me tell you something. They thought it was dead. That is the point. You buy those are the best deals you're going to find. You buy something when everyone else is saying it's dead, and there's a chance that they might be right. But that's how you make 100x with altcoins that already had big runs at least. That's a great call. We've had a lot of alt moments, but never happened together. Yeah. Thank you, DT. Have a good one, man. Rudy, thanks for the follow. Good morning, Jamie. I saw a notification about tax loss selling coming. Don't worry about tax loss selling. Yeah, that happens every year. Tax loss harvesting. Don't worry about it. That's so tax loss selling, tax loss harvesting. I did that on December 31st, 2021. No, sorry, 2022. And then literally on January 1st, Bitcoin went up from 16,000 to 19,000. So I had to buy back in, and it never went back to my price. Sold all HEEHEE, not going to do much with 0 shilling. We'll buy back at another time. Cool, SkyTay. I mean, I don't blame you, and I don't know if that's a comment of frustration. I'm not going to shill HEEHEE right now. It is a complete waste of time to shill any meme coin right now, except for maybe Rismus, because of the play. Alex, can you explain? Are you calling 2026 will be the top? I'm saying that 2026 is going to be a pleasant surprise for a lot of people. You know what? Or a major disappointment. And let me explain myself with that. A pleasant surprise in the fact that I think a lot of people are just expecting, well, 2026 is going to be the bear market. The mid-cycle year, that's the bear market. Yeah, just like 2025 was a major bull run that made all your dreams come true, right? And so a pleasant surprise being that we're not going to go down as much as people think. And you know, I mean, I'm going to say it again, for Bitcoin at least, I am expecting a higher all-time high in 2026 than in 2025. So that's all I'm saying. But I'm actually much more bullish for 2027 with Bitcoin. I think it's going to blow 2026 or 2025 out of the water. And I've been saying that for many months. I've been saying that for a really long time, over a year. October 6th was the top for Bitcoin. The person that predicted it was right. What makes them right? No. If we're talking about 2025, then sure, that day was correct. But no, if you're talking about for this cycle, oh, absolutely not. I'd give it like a 1% chance that person was right between now and 2028 halving. I'm still down over 50%. You and lots of people. What are your targets for shorting ICP when it comes? I don't know. This is news to me. You know, now people are really excited about our ICP or talking about it. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for some sign of weakness. You know, I'm not shorting it today. We'll see about tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. Thank you, V, for the follow. Where do you see altcoins going in 2026 if we keep going down in 2025? I think the first quarter of 2026 is probably going to be the worst for altcoins, even if Bitcoin were to hit a new all-time high. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about that. There's still people holding out hope for Q1 of 2026. Did I say Q? I meant to say Q1 if I didn't. Yeah, please don't mention HEEHEE. Let us DCA cheap. I just, the big thing that I've been saying is the stars are not aligned for like a full-blown alt season. And I don't see any signs of that first quarter 2026. I could see that happening, you know, as 2026 progresses, that we get more and more liquidity in the market, that, you know, things are more favorable for risk on activity. So, all right, guys, I'm sorry. I got to run. Have a good one.